probably say it's not doable, because the kind of business models large companies run are not possible. So maybe bottled water is not your business, right? But that doesn't mean there are no clean water businesses at the community level. We have in Bangladesh an example of Grameen Veolia water, where villages have water purification plants, which are built through investments by social business people, and then the community can get fresh water, clean water from a community source, and it makes money for the person who has invested in the water plant. So you don't really have to create a water solution that comes in bottles. The idea is to give clean water to people who are willing to pay. And if the price is right, and if people understand that buying this water is cheaper, it's as safe, it's WHO quality, and it's helping my community bring more money into the community, many people would choose the community water supply from buying bottled water. So the SDG Lab helps thinking through some of these issues and helps people understand how it is still possible to operate in sometimes very competitive markets and create businesses. The second very important point here is that sometimes large companies are looking to invest in smaller businesses from their CSR funding to create impact investment companies. Those also are a very strong way of building partnerships. A huge company called Danone, for instance, which is again a very, very large food products company, has created subsidiaries which are social businesses. So the big company itself is not a social business, but they have created social businesses with other people that provide goods and services. There are others. You can name a few others as well. So the lab that we want to introduce to you co-thinks with you solutions, identifies opportunities, and most importantly, writes about it. Because in our world, if something is not written, it never happened. So we exchange lessons from Haiti, from Portugal, from maybe Timor someday, with other countries and other communities, so that people don't have to make the same mistakes to learn the same lesson.
Fantastic. Okay, in a second we'll go to questions. I'll just ask Manaberta just to summarize the work of the SDG Lab. Thank you.
Okay, SDG Lab niya objetivo maka suporta jovem sira, suporta comunidade atau bele halo analisa onsa fonte SDG atau bele sai oportunidade para negócio. Dr. Faiz, por exemplo, hanesan ohin negócio com a babé niya. Idane bagira se tá botando halo negócio ne atau iha competição bot ou companhia bot sira. Hanesan ohin temi com a Nestlé com a Danone. Mas bem companhia bot sira nemos iha siranya polícia política atau serviço hamutu ko business que kuan sira pode criar impacto para a comunidade. E dane exemplo hanesan parceiro nebe maka business que sira bela estabelece ho companhia bot sira nebe maka sucessiona. Por exemplo, hanesan hanya temi hodeno nebe maka cria parceiro ho business que kuan sira ho for impacto nebe maka bot para a comunidade.
Fantastic. So I think we've all, there's so much that we've covered, and there's a lot of inspiration about how we can think about social business, and a lot of lessons that hopefully we can apply in Timor-Leste. I'd like to now invite any of you who have any question. We'll take about 3 questions in a round, and then we'll give the opportunity for. Yeah. Okay. So let's
3.
go.
We have 3 already. The first round's done.
Perfect. Okay.
Perfect.
Maybe
Would somebody pass this microphone?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's.
So,
Suresta, thank you. My name is Pedro Carrillo. I'm from Amok. I call it Amok Zero Enterprise. In fact, it is a social enterprise and Angaida Association. My question is if I have a vision for my future, because the patient inspires me, and I don't have the very limited knowledge to start something. Should I start because the vision inspires me, or should I start by learning first, then start in order to avoid the risk and failure? And the second question is, we've been talking like lots about zero plastic and to reduce plastic production. And why? The question is why the big like donators, agencies like keep supporting the business that like let's say producing water. For me, it's like let's say, what if we every like agencies and NGOs work together and like construct a water installation that there will be to the community where every public like places like tents every 10 meters there will be like a tent that everybody can feel free to get the water with the cup or whatever, instead of producing like water bottle that after drinking we throw away and still the same causing the problems.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for your questions. We'll go.
Well, let's go.
Yeah.
Microphones with the young lady over there.
Okay.
Let's go ahead.
Yes, please.
You might want to turn it on. There's a button on the side.
Sir, I'm Laura, sir. Sir, your life journey is really exciting for me and it's inspiring me today because I'm a medical student too. Sir, I want to know what is your key of life, because you are a doctor but you do something amazing like this. So I just want to, can you share to us what is your key of life to, even you are a doctor but you do the big thing like this.
Right. Well, thanks. Well, you should be, first of all, try to be a good doctor. Pass your exams and get your license. That's also important. I could still write a prescription because I went through.
Okay, let's just hear the third question.
Right. So be a good doctor first.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. My name is Faiz Shah. Thank you very much again for you, Mr. Dr. Faiz. You are really inspired for us. And here I know that we know that in the room there are many young people. So I would like you to give some keynotes or keynotes or key points for us to from the age 20 to 25 and age 25 to 30. What should we do, or what should we have, or ideas, or the way of doing something to be successful in business?
Right.
Fantastic. Okay, over to you.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's quickly recap the questions. Petro asked what's the difference between, I mean, what's the choice between having a vision and does the vision suffice, or do we need to build capability to achieve the vision? Then you asked, you asked about failure, and then you asked about why people continue to support harmful industries. Then we had Laura talk about maybe key lessons from life, and then again what young people should be doing. Let me take the first one. A vision is important, but it cannot be separated from preparation. And then, on the other hand, preparation is a generator of visions. That's why I call this a journey. When you start on a journey, most of the time, suppose all of you are heading out to a holiday with friends. You have a plan. You need to visit a few places and you want to do a few things, etc. But how many times does it happen that you end up doing stuff that you never planned, which was actually good, and end up suffering from something you planned which didn't turn out very well? That is life. So a vision is key to achieving whatever you want, but without preparation, a vision cannot be generated. So I'll jump straight to Laura's question now. As a child, I wanted to work and help other people. That is why when I was growing up, it seemed very logical to become a doctor, because doctors are associated with helping people. So I prepared and I was able to get into med school, which is when I realized that helping people means so many other ways, different things to different people. Just curing sick people is one very important way of helping people, but there are so many other ways. But without having those 5 years in med school, I would not have had the opportunity to look at the human condition so closely and then decide on a career. And once I got into the next career, a next turning point, a next turning point, a next turning point. So vision is important, but visions are aspirational. It's the learning that makes them doable. It's a long answer, but please try to see that without preparation, no vision is possible. And now without a vision, no actions can be planned. But then if you have a plan, it's a good thing to start. But always remember this, that always every plan changes as it goes through implementation. We can be more specific if the questions get more specific. But having failure as part of your plan is very important. Sorry, can I just add this part? You know, in business, 98 different statistics exist, but the most often repeated one is 98% of new businesses fail in the first 18 months. How does that sound like a failure plan? Right? So anybody who's brought to thinking that their business idea will succeed simply because they have a great idea or somebody's given them the investment or the pitch is successful, the test of the idea is in the market. And so please be always prepared to fail. But the difference between a successful entrepreneur and somebody who is not is the coping strategy they have for failing. You will read the stories of all these big guys that you see here. Every story has multiple failures before they became these enormous successes that we now look up to. And they're famously quoted as having failed 30 times or 20 times or 50 times. So imagine, failure is woven into the idea of business. So if you are flexible, adaptable, and you create ideas at a pace that you outstrip the pace of failure, you're a successful entrepreneur. And then chance plays a very important part. Business schools seem to downplay the importance of serendipity in business success. That's something we can't control. So the only way we can control chance is by taking chances again and again. Right? So that's the answer.
Okay, we'll take 2 more questions, but first, because
I'll come to yours in a while. I think I'll club it towards the end.
And because there were so many important tips for life and tips for business in that, Berta, can you just summarize the key points about flexibility and adaptability?
Okay. Alam ito yung si estudiante médico niya, Dr. Faiz hatete kata niya procedure completa uruk tabot niya estudo iha medical school niya depois tabot dele halo bot silo. Kono ba visão preparação no Dr. Faiz hatete kata visão importante atau inspira saya kita bot sila tu halo mas visão la preparação ne se la will not work se la sai realidade. Então iha kita bot sila preparação incluímos kita bot sila plano. No iha plano niya lá kita bot sila tem que preparado atu falha. Nega failure ka falha ne tem que ser tama outro kita bot sila plano. No hoje minha temi kata iha emasa na bem makalo negócio iha porcento se anulo recém lima maka falha iha fulan sanulo recém guarda niya larang. No idane sira se bele sai sucesso quando sira iha capacidade atu bele adaptability bele capacidade atu bele adapta. Tambah banhira começa dalam rumah iha dalam kelarang kita bocernya plano ne tem que ser muda pode adaptar para contexto outro inclui mercado e contexto terceiro. Também é importante ter satu bele considera tahu kita bocernya plano iha risco atu falha niya nomos atu bele adaptar para contexto outro ode bele sai sucesso.
Thank you so much. So we just take 2 final questions because we're running out of time. So we've got one here in the front row. Is there any other?
We have to have something from the back here. That's mandatory. Somebody has to come up with a question. This is in the quietest corner. But
That's
yeah,
okay.
please
Okay.
go ahead and
This
let's
one
have the question, and we will.
response to the other one,
so
and
we can-
we're out of time. So.
Okay, thank you. My name is Leonia Lemos. I'm the owner of Baray Ramen. Running my business nearly 3 years and a half now. Basically, my business connect with people, social network. It was like therapies and healthy juice bar. So for me, if possible, for next year, for my personal to reconnect with Yunus Center, so I can get more training or something that can build more connect with my company, small company with your center for the future for the next year.
Very well.
Thank you.
You've got our friends here at the collab, so reach out to them, and I'll be more than happy to connect you with people who can. You open a juice bar at AIT, we need one over there. Right. So shall I get back to the two questions from Laura and Mr. Berto on the key points about where to go. It's stories are good. My own story. When I was 22, I just entered med school, and the only, it seemed at that time, purpose in life was to complete my education. And why I say that is that it seemed there were so few options available. There's a very famous quote from Herbert Simon which says, well, this is not a direct quote, but the eyes do not see what the mind does not know. It's a paraphrase of the famous boundary rationality quote. So the idea is that as you learn more about yourself, you learn to choose different things. So 22 to 25 is the age where you must be open to learning. Set a goal, but set a flexible goal. I never wanted to be a businessman. From the life of me, I couldn't imagine myself actually figuring out how to run goods and services. But I ended up being one, and it ended up being a successful enterprise. But the key to that is having a door to learning open at all times. I never wanted to be. So many things I actually became later on. But because of this attitude that you create, and it's the attitude to learning, there is no fixed limit. The human mind has infinite ability to adapt and learn and build. So for young people, if there is a message, and this is also a message for Laura at the back, do not close your options. I have seen many young people, including children who are very close to me, who have suffered as a consequence of their plans not being met. I want to go to med school, I want to become an airline pilot, I want to become whatever. And it doesn't happen. And these kids have internalized that to the extent that they are not able to recover from that particular setback. But the people you meet who actually have made success in their lives are people who let these setbacks very quickly leave them behind and move on for the next opportunity. So if there is an advice for both of you, it is that do not close off your options. You can start with, and there are so many examples of people who started somewhere completely different, but succeeded in something completely different. Yunus is a classic example. So that if there is one lesson that perhaps you already know but need to be reinforced for, which is keep learning every single day.
Fantastic. That was a really, really inspirational ending. Thank you, Dr. Faiz. I'll just ask Roberto to summarize that final point, and then we'll close with thank you, Dr. Faiz.
Okay, Dr. Faiz tinha mensagem importante deles atu remata idane. Tinha mensagem maka atitude atu aprende ne laiha limitação. A plano atu bele popo aprende lor. Tambah jovem ka Férica Cruz e aprende ne tania kakutak ne habilidade atu aprende ne laiha limitação. Nebe ne encoraja atu dita hodu aprende.
Fantastic. I wish you all join me in a big round of applause, and thank you to Dr. Faiz for sharing with us today.
Thank you for a wonderful sort of opportunity here and for fantastic moderation, great translations. I'm sure they were very accurate.
Yes, and
But
a round of applause
I think
to
that the biggest credit is to Berta, because I think she made the translations more inspirational than probably how I expressed them.
Can we all thank
everyone.
Berta as well?
Yes, please.
Okay, so now we have a quick coffee break.